The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, well, shit. This is going to be a very real episode, friends. There's absolutely nothing funny about teen alcoholism, but gosh darn it, we're going to try. It's the Spectacular Now. I'm Riggs.
And we're spectacularly here.
We are spectacularly here, and this is the Film Addicts podcast. I said it weird this time. The Film Addicts podcast, like it was a news broadcast. Hey there, friends, and welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. We're so happy to have you here for the second in our 4-week coming of age, coming all over the place, coming together movie quadrilogy. It's fantastic. It's a Spectacular Now from 2014. Is that right, Eddie?
I think so.
2014. We're just going to check the internet. We could have done it beforehand and done notes and everything, but that's what a real podcast does. So as 2013. Apologies. Directed by James Ponsoldt.
Are you okay?
Ponsoldt.
Yeah, no, you got
it. It's Ponsoldt?
Yes.
Amazing. And written by Scott. I'm not even going to attempt that last name. Nestater. Sorry, Scott. And Michael H. Weber, which is much easier, based on the novel by Tim Tharp. A spectacular picture, banger cast. We're going to get into it, and it's going to be a very real episode. Like I said, there's for those of you who listen to the show regularly, the movie is about alcoholism, and I suffered from that myself. So that will come up. Hopefully that's not off-putting for you all, but I do have some insight, so there will be some conversation around that. But before we do that, I've got to talk to my, wallflower, manga reading, homely, but also one of the most beautiful women who's ever lived, girlfriend next door. It's Addie. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Alive. I'm here.
Yeah, otherwise I'd be doing a episode with a zombie or a vampire or a ghost or a Frankenstein. What else are undead stuff? Mummy. Sorry, Addie's just gargling on a cock. I've got to do cock stuff before we get into all the serious business. It's got to be done. What have you been doing? What's going on?
Nothing much. I was stressed and depressed a lot this week and last week.
Stressed and depressed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad you watched The Spectacular Now because it's such an uplifting flick.
Yep, absolutely.
How do you feel now?
It is so fucking hot here. I genuinely can't. It's like 38 degrees, but it feels like 45. That's the fucking, why, man? And
there's no need.
It's so annoying too, because it's raining like 3 kilometers away and 4 kilometers away, but never here.
45 degrees is too hot. There's absolutely no reason to. You'd be sitting there in ball soup, just no, thank you. It does get that hot here, but not in Melbourne. What is it? So what have you been doing? Just hanging out. You had finals, did you say?
Yeah, I did have finals. Honestly, I started to reread Kingdom Come.
That's a good way to be.
Because I needed some specterness in my life.
Yeah.
Some specter.
How is it? I haven't reread Kingdom Come in a long time.
Oh, this is my third time around. As soon as I open it and I look at the art, and then I read, and it's Norman Bates. Is that the
Norman Bates is the name of the character from Psycho.
The pastor in Kingdom Come.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's Norman something. I know that.
It's not Norman Bates, I promise you.
Yeah. But yeah, as soon as the Spectre meets Norman and takes him to Superman, I'm already in love all over again.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm rereading the Sean Phillips, Ed Brubaker Reckless series at the moment. The ones about the the private detective in sort of the mid 80s in California, Ethan Reckless. I think I recommended the first one to you a while back and you did read it. Yeah. So I'm up to the third book of that. Just, needed some noir in my life, but also something familiar because I'd started a couple of things and they were all false starts. And Absolute Superman's gone crazy. So fucking Hawkman's in it now and Shazam. I'm like, fuck, why? I thought you restarted the universe so you could just concentrate on the one character. And we're 20 issues in and already there's 47 other superheroes kicking around. I was like, well, that's what I came to get away from, motherfuckers.
Aren't they like also doing the world's finest with Absolute Superman and Absolute Batman?
Are they? Yeah. They've just introduced that's it, Raphael Albuquerque, I think his name is Albuquerque. I can't remember the actual pronunciation. He's a writer who's starting Absolute Green Arrow. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, what? I like Green Arrow, but shit, it's just getting out of town, you know. But having said that, Benjamin Percy's writing Punisher at the moment, and it's fucking dope. So lots of Punisher. We'll be talking about Punisher in a bit.
I've been wanting to get into Absolute Wonder Woman because there's spoilers for anybody who's wanting to. Are you wanting to start that?
No, probably not.
So I found out that Wonder Woman, or like Diana in that run, is in a relationship with Zatanna.
All right, now I'm going to read it.
Right?
Now I'm going to read it without pants on.
Also, one thing happened, like fucking 2 days ago, where I saw this video come up, like on Instagram Reels, about this guy saying how, like, Superman's motto is truth, justice, and the American way, and you know, like that should be a motto for Captain America and Frank Castle too. I'm like, I don't know what you're going on with that, but sure. I just want to point out that Captain America has been canonically written as a bigot against the mutants in mutant books. They're the Avengers, right? And then there's the X-Men. But every time you pick up an X-Men book and you look at the politics in it, you see how on the
he's calling them the M word.
How on the other side
I said the M word, everybody. M yes. For mutant. Yeah. But when Bishop's in the room, he just straight up uses Jesus the N word. Hey, Aurora. Mm-hmm. And then something slurry. Yeah,
like it's not all the time. But you see kind of that character in X-Men 97 as well, where he's on the side of the government against the mutants.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's in. I'm looking forward to rewatching that when the second season comes out this year, because I haven't rewatched it since it came out.
X-Men 97 is it is genuinely something else. Like I don't know how they cooked that up, but it is incredible.
Yeah, cook being the operative word.
So like I just said that, like, you know, okay, yeah, Captain America canonically a bigot against mutants, and then
and Frank is like. He is, if you read his origin that Garth Ennis sort of wrote, Born, it's like he's kind of despondent about the military and you know, disaffected and apoplectic about what they did to him and all that stuff. So it's like, no, why would he be? And he like, if anything, the government has failed, and that's why he does what he does. You know, the government failed his family, like couldn't protect him even though he was a veteran.
So like I commented that, and then like in about like 20 minutes, I had about 50 comments. First it started with you've not read a single comic book. Then they call me a LARPer, and then they just straight up call me the F word and the N word. So I just fucking deleted my comment. I was like fuck off.
You're beating me to my point, friend. Wait, they called you a LARPer?
Yeah. So a
like the people who live action role play.
Yeah. So that's where it derives from. But a LARPer in slang now is somebody who pretends to be somebody that they're not. Okay.
The internet's a fucking toilet. I don't. You don't. I remember seeing it. I got sent a recipe for, like, you know, tofu or something or other, and it was lovely. You know, tofu with chili. It doesn't matter. But my friend sent it to me, and then I was like, I wonder if anybody else has any tips. And I read the comments, and it was just people fighting about tofu. I'm like, fucking get a life. Some dude made a comment on Tommy told me this, I don't follow it, but one of the YouTube shorts that we put up for No Country for Old Films when we did the Super Mario Brothers episode, I mistook. I said that the big lizard guys in that are Koopa Troopers, and they're not. They're something else. Or I got them mixed up. I can't remember. Something's a mushroom and something's a lizard or whatever. I got it mixed up, and they fucking went off. Why don't you know the fucking difference between blah, blah, blah? Yeah, you're probably right, dude. But, you know, also, I don't fucking care. Like, very strange world out there, my friend.
How are you, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm good. Show's finished. Got a haircut. And I'm currently going through a catalogue of short films because I'm one of the judges for the Show Us Your Shorts film festival that the Yarra Rangers Film Society runs every year. And yeah, I'm one of the judges, so I'm watching a bunch of really excellent short films, honestly, even the ones that I have to say no to because I can only, there's like, you know, how many there are, 50 or something, and I can only say yes to 10. So I'm having to say no to a lot of really good stuff, but just, yeah, the quality that's out there is really exceptional. Just in Melbourne too, you know, it's really cool. So that's been heaps of fun. But I must tell you, last night it was all ritual, baby. Cup of tea, a little bit of chocky, like proper dark vegan chocolate, like the stuff that you put in your mouth and your whole mouth closes up because it's so tart. It's fantastic. Real like. It's not brown chocolate, it's black. Like it is just the richest shit you've ever had. Couple of bits of that, cup of tea, lights go down, fire's on, pussycats are all asleep. It's Punisher One Last Kill, mate. And it had to happen. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's do what are we watching?
What are we watching? I'd be watching this. This is what I'd be watching. And do you want to go positive and then negative, or do you want to go negative and then positive?
No, you start first, but I do want to say, I knew I fucking loved you the first day I met you because I fucking love dark chocolate.
Yeah.
I know people say it's an acquired taste. I've loved dark chocolate since I fucking knew chocolate existed.
It's what real chocolate kind of is, you know, like the sort of Cadbury milk, like chocolate bar thing. You know, that's everyday stuff. But the proper dark stuff, you only need a little slicky of it, and that's plenty, you know. The Punisher One Last Kill, everybody. It's a Marvel special fucking presentation or whatever the fuck it is on Letterboxd. It's this huge, long title. But anyway, the actual story is The Punisher One Last Kill, and it's Bernthal's. He's written it with the director, and it's the same director who he's worked with before on We Own This City. And I loved it. I fucking loved it. It was just someone, I read a Letterboxd review and they were like, it's just like one of those subpar, you know, quality Punisher comics. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I can fucking have I can have 2 of these a year. Just tell me Punisher stories that are disconnected from everything else. Like this is just Frank at the end of his journey at getting the revenge for his family. You know, it's where we've kind of wanted him to be. And I was saying to you before, the Punisher in the books, you know, now and in the past as well, particularly in Garth Ennis's Max run, he's just a machine. He's a shark, and he just moves forward constantly. And the when he does feel emotion, it's very muted. The Punisher that we get, that John Bernthal embodies so beautifully, and it's given me, like, I'm retroactively looking at his series and when he was in Daredevil and Daredevil Born Again in particular. He's an emotional, raw, absolutely no armor human being, and he breaks down. And I used to think he was too chatty, but of course he's chatty. Like he's a modern man who just happens to be an absolute weapon, and he's gone through this horrible thing, and you can tell, you know, in this one his daughter was his favorite. He's gone through this thing, and he's finally won the day. We won't give any spoilers or anything, but you know, it's pretty obvious when you begin what happens. But he's suffering mentally, and you know, it's the mission. He's tired, you know, he says he's run out of mission. And then it's the discovering that. And you remember last week when I was talking about, I don't know why I love Daredevil and Punisher so much, and all that kind of stuff. And Daredevil, I think, appeals to my sense of right and sense of good, you know, and that people can change and all that stuff, the optimistic side of me. But the part of me that loves Punisher is the part that identifies with that version of him, the version that Bernthal's doing, because I'm broken too. You know, like, sure, my family wasn't killed and stuff like that, but I've been through some shit. and sometimes I'm fucking tired as well, and sometimes I want to tear the world apart, and like it's that I see in him, like, of course. So yeah, this really spoke to me. The action is fucking banger. It's the best Punisher like has been on screen ever. I'm talking about the other versions of it. Like, you see bits and pieces of this in both season 2 of Daredevil and Born Again, season 1, the end. Pretty great. But this is like, it was like a fun fucking John Wick movie with Frank Castle. It had like a Raid kind of feel to it as well, or the Dread movie where it's all one location and that the people are kind of behind him. Like, I know he's a fucking serial killer, but like, if you live where he lives in this and you are surrounded by crime, someone who comes along and makes a difference like that and saves you and is going to be someone you do look up to and do want on your side and do want in your neighborhood protecting you, regardless of their extreme measures. And Bernthal fucking kills it. Like, he is one of the best actors of his generation, hands down. He is the perfect combination of Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. And I know that he's not all this. Like, if you see him in Origin or if you see him in American Gigolo, he can be very sweet and very muted. If you hear his actual speaking voice, it's nothing like Frank at all. He's actually a really tender man. Watch the episode of his podcast, The Real Ones, with Deborah Ann Wall. It's one of the most beautiful friendships you've ever seen, those two. And it was directed really well. It was shot really well. The action was great. He doesn't talk too much, but there is an internal story going on. Yeah, fucking 5 stars, man. I was so happy with it. What's your fucking problem? I love you, mate. I'm joking.
Wow. Okay.
I'm an easy target for this stuff too, because again, Punisher's my fave, and Bernthal, I fucking love him. So yeah, it wouldn't be hard to make a Punisher thing that I enjoy. I even like the Dolph Lundgren movie, but I understand why you might have some problems with it.
I love that for you, man. I love that you were able to finally identify with this version of the Punisher.
Yeah, in a really big way.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be very honest. I have not read any of the Punisher comics at all. I have not seen the 2-season show. My only interaction with the Punisher has ever been John Bernthal's version, and he has been in a Daredevil thing. So like season 2 of the original series and season 1 of Born Again. And I love the Punisher with Daredevil because there are two moralities at play there, and they're always on the opposite side of each other, but the way that they work is similar to a point where both of them like have some sort of brutality into them, but Frank finishes the job and Daredevil has morals and believes that everybody can be reestablished, or not reestablished, but like rehabilitated. And Frank doesn't, for like valid reasons, obviously. However, I didn't feel like it was it felt like a rehash of a John Wick thing with no clear vision. For
really,
for
okay.
Me. Obviously, what is it? Is it the second one that ends with him on a clock running into the city, and the third one starts with it?
Yeah, before the third one starts, yeah, he gets the bounty on him.
Yeah. So it felt like a version of that, but with, I don't know what they wanted to show with this, like with this outing, because it I did go back and watch it again, and like, yes, it is isolated, and it does feel like you picked up a single issue from the comic book story and you just read it, and it was a completely different flavor than what I was even expecting. So I appreciate it for that. However, and I don't know, I love the John Wick movies, but I feel like the violence here was it didn't feel earned. Like it felt like everything was just happening for shock value.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but if you watched his show, the 2 seasons of the Punisher show, it wasn't any worse than that. It was. I don't think it was. There was some, pretty gruesome stuff, but yeah, nothing more than you saw in the Punisher show. Because remember, that was still when it was on Netflix as well.
Like there were because here with Disney Plus they have to have an R rating to do this because Disney Plus isn't isn't a platform with like this much of violence or this much of maturity in content.
Yeah, and I've never seen that thing come up as well, where it was like the warning that we have at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
It's like, this is definitely for adults, motherfuckers. Don't let children listen to this or watch it. So yeah. Yeah, no, I totally understand your point, but it probably wouldn't feel that way, I think, if you'd seen the 2 seasons of his show. There's some stuff in that's pretty gruesome.
That's fair, and I'm willing to go back and do the work and like actually watch the 2-season show.
If you don't dig it by episode 6 of the first season, you're not going to dig it. It's a real slow burn because they have a lot of episodes, and you've got to remember as well, it bumps up against Daredevil season 2. Mm-hmm. So Frank disappears at the end of that and says, go get him, Red, and that's it. And then he's got to go into hiding, basically. So it picks up sort of there, and it's, post-Defenders kind of thing. So, yeah, it's but it's really good. It's about, especially that first season, it's about the marginalization of military veterans and how there's the help out there is only internal, like they don't have external help, and how some people in the military end up becoming mercenaries and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's worth your time. Some great acting in it.
I'll definitely check that out.
The first episode will fucking blow your head off.
So the 2 big criticisms that I have are honestly have nothing to do with like the tone of it. I feel like it's written really well. Like
it is, yeah.
Like I know I have my problems with it, but it's written really, really well. And it was weird because like I watched I watched this, and like earlier in the week I watched another special written by John Bernthal and Ebon Moss-Bachrach for their characters in The Bear.
Gary.
Yeah, Gary. And it's, man, I was not jiving with that. I was like, man, this is like I don't see the reason why this exists. And then it turns, and there is one scene where John Bernthal just pops off, and it's like, oh, okay. And it just it completely numbed me. Like, how you like you see something and it's like it's so real. Like you understand what's happening, but it's not what's happening on screen, but what's implied is what's happening, because he's like in the special he's saying a lot of hurtful things to somebody that he loves. But with the context of the show, that it's not about the person he's telling it to, it's about him. And it's just like, yeah, that was a lot. And
yeah, right.
Like this special as well, like it's written really well. I love the PTSD visions that he has. Like it really like gets to the point. But the 2 big problems I have with this is John Bernthal, first of all, coming out and saying that this special is for the officers who wear the Punisher skull as badges. I'm like, you sure you want to say that?
I didn't know that he did that, but that's that doesn't. It's more about him than it is about anything else.
And secondly, I know the Nucci's are like bad and everything, right? I don't have a problem with Frank killing them. I did have a problem with Frank like choking the guy on the street with his knee, because we all saw that happen in 2020, and it's
oh shit, yeah, I didn't actually think of that.
Yeah. And
yeah, that might have been a poor choice.
That's a really, really bad creative choice to not think of that as well, because then you're identifying Frank with police brutality, which is the opposite of what he stands for.
Yes, yeah. It's really interesting. I didn't clock that. Honestly, hadn't thought about that in some time. So yeah, good insight. So
those are my problems with it. Like I said, it's written incredibly well. It does feel like a single issue comic that you just picked up and read, and it's a completely different world, and it's a completely different flavor. What I did like about it was at the end when he comes out with a trimmed beard.
Spoilers, everyone.
It's in the like the shot at the end is in the trailer.
And he looks like this. Yeah. With the big beard, yeah.
Yeah. With their Punisher get up. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, give me the punishing, but not that.
Yeah. You hear that, everybody on the internet? Addy wants a punishing.
Always. Ever since second grade.
Always.
What the fuck am I saying?
Oh my God, that's dirty as, man. I love that. Yeah, no, I mean, seeing him in the get-up is great, but I mean, I don't need it at this point. It's, you know, some of the best Punisher story. I mean, the entire first season of Daredevil, he's not the costume. Like, he gets the costume at the end of it. Like, that's not important to me as the character is. But when he does come out, he's got the military fade and the crop beard, and he's got like a sidearm, like he's got a thing in his holster, and he takes out that fucking guy who killed the dog. Like, yeah, and he gets the nod from the dude. He's like, he took more than that from me. He's like, all right, I'm going to fucking shoot this motherfucker. And then it's like, okay. And I know someone's gone, we're going to do a Punisher thing. You know, he's been really popular since Born Again season 1. You know, we've got the rights back. Let's do something. And Bernthal's like, I don't want to do a movie. I don't have time to do a whole movie and train for it, but I can do this little short thing. Let me write it. They're like, cool, awesome. You know, and he's like, I'm going to pick a director who I like working with. Great. You know, we're going to have half of it be just action and no dialogue. Yeah, let's just make it like an issue of the comic. And then people are going to be like, let's go and watch this guy interact with Spider-Man. Like, I totally understand what they're doing. It's a sales pitch. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it can't have artistic value, and I think it does. And Bernthal is leading that. You know, he is this character. He's played this character more than anybody else. Yeah, and yeah, it's good casting. Fucking good casting.
Yeah, and I'm very serious when I say that I'm ready to go back and watch the show, because I at least want to give it a chance.
It's also isolated. Like, you know how you kind of Daredevil leads into Jessica Jones, leads into Luke Cage, leads into Iron Fist, leads into Defenders, and all of those, they all have continuity within each other. Both seasons of Punisher 1 and 2 are completely separate from each other. You could just jump in and not have seen Frank in season 2 of Daredevil and still get it all. And then once that season ends, season 2 starts, and it's just another Punisher story. Like, it's not, as long as you know who the character is, you've got everything you need. So there's that benefit to it as well.
Yeah, that's fair. And also this was like my biggest criticism about like the whole Netflix era was their biggest mistake and their biggest fumble was to not have Frank and Matt ever interact ever again after season 2. Like, Frank and Matt's chemistry would have made Defenders a really interesting watchable show. That had nothing to do with Frank's story.
Popped in for just an episode, you know, like he did in Born Again. Just let him jump in for that one episode. Yeah. You know?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because like technically in Born Again he's only in 2 scenes. Like he's mentioned a lot, and they're using his space even in season 2. But he's only in 2 scenes that were reshoots.
The other thing that's really good about the first season of Punisher is Karen.
I just saw that. I saw that chemistry. I'm excited. I'm interested to see what that is.
It's powerful. It's a like, if Frank wasn't who Frank was, they would get together.
Yeah, there's
something there.
That's what I felt as well. Like, it's like he doesn't see him as, like, he doesn't see Karen as a potential relationship. It's just there's a connection there, and it's so hard to quantify it into a label, and I love that.
Platonic soulmates.
Yes, like us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, except, you know, they're 2 good-looking people who should bone. And so are we, actually. Yeah. Let's be perfectly honest here. It's just distance is the biggest issue. But yeah, I just feel like there's something special between them. Like, you even see it, you know, in season 2 of Born Again, where she's like, "Let me kill him for you. Let me do that." And Matt's like, "No, that's Frank's influence." You know, he even says it, doesn't he? He's like, "You start to sound like Frank." It's fucking great. I really liked it. And I'm glad you saw, like, the parts of it that you had a problem with weren't like, they were cosmetic. They weren't actually the story or, you know, maybe a little bit of the execution, but you kind of dug it. And if it makes you go, oh, I want to check out some of the first stuff, like the first season is great. And Ibon Moss is excellent in it. The first season as Microchip, he's incredible. Like, he's one of the highlights.
Yeah, that's honestly like those 2, because they're on Broadway right now, and so like,
yeah, I know, doing fucking Dog Day Afternoon. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I love their chemistry in The Bear, and they're like, when The Bear takes place, like, John Bernthal's character is, oh fuck, this might be a spoiler. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, like their chemistry in the bear is incredible, and it's just like watching Gary the special, like it like I wanted to see more of that. So yeah, I'll definitely, that's like a huge selling point. Like Ebon Moss Backrack is a huge selling point for to go back and watch the original Punisher series.
But for now, let's get into some new. You know what I'm talking about. My mum had a doctor whose name was NG. That was his last name. Doctor.
Oh, right. Okay. I was trying to think how...
my last name was I mean, technically all words are sounds, but I'd love it if my name was like onomatopoetic, like it sounded like wood doesn't sound like a sound. It sounds like a thing. It's like wood. You know what I mean? But NG... yes, Dr. is in. I know it's ninja or whatever, but still, it's funnier if you make the noise. Anyway, here's the nerd news. All right, so what the fuck is going on in the world? What's happening in the world of nerdism, dude? You've got all the cred this time.
Oh boy. I have some exciting nerd news from all over. We have some movies, some TV shows, and some comics.
Fantastic. Give it to me. Give it to me all.
All right. So the first one, and I really love this, is a new Adventures of Tintin's movie. Fuck me. A new Adventures of Tintin movie is officially happening. Peter Jackson is currently writing the script with plans to direct the film himself. Now, we don't know if it's going to be animated like it was when he did with Spielberg, or if it's going to be a sequel. But I genuinely hope that those two things are true, that it's a sequel to...
Yeah, you've got to do it, right? I know it was fucking 20 years ago, but still.
It was so great. Like, it captured the feel of the actual books and the animated show.
And it was one of those instances of where using that motion capture shit really worked as well. It looked great. And Spielberg, the transitions in that,
oh my God,
are so fucking good. Like, just imagery that it lives in my mind forever, you know?
Yeah, this is one shot where they're like shaking hands, and then it transitions to like into their skin, into a desert. I'm like, oh, yeah. Kill me.
Yeah.
It's so excellent. Great.
Yeah, I could totally, I could have one of those every year.
Yeah, 100%. It was also like one of the most rarest instances where like Peter Jackson is credited as executive producer on that film, but he was via satellite on set with Spielberg directing, because they were using like motion capture with Weta, and Peter Jackson originally Steven Spielberg actually wanted to do live action. Peter Jackson was like, this is the
mate.
Like animated.
No, we can't do it live action.
Oh my God.
It's going to be too big. It's too big of a show to do live action. Why don't you come out here on me dick? Come out on me dick. I've got a really nice dick at my house. It's a beautiful dick. I polish my dick all the time, and we can talk about it on the dick. Sorry, all of my New Zealander friends. Sorry, Ruby.
You just sounded like Taika Waititi though, like just him.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, I was playing it up a little bit. Yeah, okay. I feel like the animated, it works out really well for it. Yeah.
Yeah, like Peter Jackson said, just give me some time and I'll show you a test reel. And the test reel was animated Snowy, and in the test reel, Peter Jackson is playing Captain Haddock but he's playing Captain Haddock like he is he's Captain Hook. So he's doing a Captain Hook immersion as Captain Haddock. Yeah, right. But there's an animated Snowy jumping around, and that was like that's when Spielberg said, "Yeah, let's do that." I hope that it's a sequel, and I hope that I hope that more people watch it this time, because I know that like it came out and nobody really watched it. That's why they hadn't done a sequel or whatever. But like both of them have shown interest in coming back and doing it. So yeah. It's also good to see Peter Jackson do something else other than The Lord of the Rings for once.
Or Beatles.
Yeah, I mean, the Beatles was his like passion project for 10 years. So I'm not going to say anything about that because that documentary is really special to me. But
yeah, sure.
The way that he's involved now as well with like everything Lord of the Rings, except for the Rings of Power show, it shows on his face how tired he is, and I hate seeing that.
Yeah, it must be an incredible weight to have to deal with that almost exclusively. Yeah,
that was the movies. Now we jump to TV shows. This is my most anticipated TV show of this year, and we've just got the news that Vision Quest will release in October on Disney Plus of this year.
Excellent. Fucking right on.
I cannot wait for this.
Have to be getting a trailer soon then, surely.
Yeah, like maybe like after Brand New Day, or a Comic-Con with the Doomsday trailer.
Yeah, where did they release? I saw the thing where it was Bettany, Tom Hiddleston, and RDJ sort of revealing the slate of stuff or talking about what's coming out. Where was that done?
I'm not sure because it was definitely not CinemaCon because it's a TV show. Might have been, I don't know, might have been like a D23 or like a Disney thing. Not entirely sure where that was.
Maybe it was fucking RDJ's backyard.
Most definitely would have been.
Yeah, right on. I just found out that the second season of Sugar's coming out in June.
Oh, yeah.
And just like Apple is so great at not promoting its shit. I didn't know that was coming. It's my favorite show of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So I started rewatching it again.
I started rewatching Shrinking because we're going to do an episode on it sometime this season. And I started watching from season 1. And like I was watching it and then I got the ad of Sugar. Like when I opened the app, I got the ad of Sugar and then it said season 2 comes soon. I was like, what? They already made a season 2?
I know. I wasn't sure about it. I was like, are they going to do it? Because, anyway, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, he just fucking flies away, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He decides to stay and now we know the twist. Like, how do you tell that story now? So much of that relied on the twist. But yeah, I mean, like it takes a lot to shock me. And I was like, what the, hang on a minute. This is Martian Manhunter all of a sudden? What the fuck? And I watched it with Em and I had to like hide the information for her from ages. And all of a sudden, you see him in the spoilers, everybody, for those who haven't seen Sugar. You see him in the mirror and she's like, did this just become sci-fi? I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's fucking awesome. I'm like, it is fucking awesome. You're absolutely right. Young lady, now show me one titty. That's Can I see one titty? Oh, girl. Just give me one titty. I just want to see one of your titties, girl. Sorry, that was there's a Jim Carrey sketch from, I think it was In Living Color, where he's doing he's being like a prince. So he's singing a song about seeing one titty. I'll send you the clip. Everybody out there knows what I'm talking about. Sorry.
I didn't. This is on new information. I thought you were just fucking belting out a song.
Yeah, you will fucking love it when I send it to you. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. And now we have comics. So we did TV shows and movies, and now we have comics.
Great. I love this. You should keep this up. This is your segment now. You do one of each.
So this was new. This came out like last week, where Marvel has. So Marvel Comics has come out and said that there's going to be a new universe that they're launching. It's called Marvel Midnight. And so
Hickman and Ben Percy.
So this is what's happening. So Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men will be getting a horror-centric comic run later this year. And so the first one is Midnight X-Men, where the X-Men no longer fight for acceptance; they hunger for blood. I saw the I saw the cover art for one of them, and it is Storm with fangs,
with the fangs and the blood dripping. Yeah, it looks and Nightcrawler in the foreground. Fucking right on. And great art too. I don't know who the artist is, but
yeah. And the second is Midnight Spider-Man, which is with great power comes something monstrous.
Cool.
Fucking love this. And This is what I thought that it was going to be with like Fantastic Four. I'm glad to see it. It is Midnight Fantastic Four. They venture into the unknown to unleash terror. So that has to be cosmic horror.
It's got to be a body horror thing, like, you know, about them all changing and stuff. And Percy's the great, like, I'm not sure about Hickman's pedigree with horror, but Percy wrote like horror novels before he became a comic book artist. One of his first books was called Red Moon, and it's a werewolf thing, and it's fucking great.
Man,
it's like 15-hour audiobook. You should check it out.
Damn.
It's like and he reads it.
Oh, that's great.
And he speaks like this. He's got such a deep American voice. It's just, fucking.
The X-Men run will be Jonathan Hickman and Matteo De La Fonte.
Oh, wow.
That will be in August. So, like, really fucking soon.
Yeah.
Then Fantastic Four will be Benjamin Percy and Kev Walker in September. And Spider-Man will be Philip Kennedy Johnson. Cytronk. I don't know how to say that name. Sorry. It's called Marvel Midnight. And, will be The Light Had Its Run. Oh, The Light Had Its Turn. I like what I said better. It's The Light Had Its Run. So, yeah.
Yep, The Light Had Its Run. It's new comics, everybody. Spectacular. Do you know what else is spectacular?
Oh, boy.
The Now is what's spectacular. It's the Spectacular Now, everybody. Yep, there's another seamless transition from your host with the most. As I said before, fucking remarkable picture. I watched it on a whim about this time last year because I was watching coming-of-age movies because I enjoy them. I think they're really interesting sort of indie cinema subgenre that a lot of really good work has been done in, even though some of them are very, very similar. There's always a sage teacher in these things, you know. But yeah, so Spectacular Now, as I said before, you know, the writer I read out the writers and directors. You've got starring Miles Teller as Sutter, Shailene Woodley as Amy, Kyle Chandler as Tommy, the father character, Brie Larson, young Brie Larson as Cassidy. You also have Jennifer Jason Leigh as Sutter's mum, Sarah. The fantastic Bob Odenkirk as Dan, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Holly. Just like to put it on Front Street, there's nothing wrong with being an addict. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are, and a lot of people are, and they don't know that they are as well. But also, being an addict isn't an excuse to be an asshole. If you can change, you should. And yeah, like I said, this isn't going to be a terribly funny episode. And I'll try not to use this platform to preach, even though I do that sometimes. But this is my personal show. Like, this is the show where me and Addie talk real shit and have a proper connection. My other shows are for, you know, comedy and acting the fool. Like, hopefully you get a laugh at it out of it here, but hopefully you feel something as well. But some stuff is going to come up, you know. If you want to know more about it, you can message me. If you want to talk about it, you can message me. If you feel like maybe you have a problem, like, I'm on Instagram. It's not hard to find me. I'm also going to say we a lot. And when I say we, I mean addicts, because I am one and I always will be. I am an alcoholic, but I just don't drink anymore. But the possibility is always there. It's a fine line. So yeah, I will be coming up like through the course of talking about this episode, talking about this film. Some stuff will come up, but again, I'll try and just keep it as you know, base level as possible. And if you want to talk about it more in depth, please reach out to me. You're more than welcome.
I want to start with, how did you find this?
It was literally on, I think it was Disney Plus, and I just watched 500 Days of Summer.
Mm.
And I was like, I would like some more of this. Oh, hang on. What's this? 17 other things that you might also like because you watched this. And there was, Edge of 17 was there, and Spectacular Now. And I really like, I think I just recently watched something with Miles Teller. I might have rewatched Whiplash or whatever. Or maybe Bleed for this. And I was like, I like him. And I really like Shailene Woodley. I'd seen her in a film called To Catch a Killer where she plays a cop, and she blew me away. Like, I think she's a really, really great actress. And this film proves that. And I put it on, and yeah, it struck me. Of the 4 movies that we're going to be talking about this month, this is my favorite.
It's also written by one of the writers from 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, right. That's crazy to learn that. Yeah, but you can kind of tell because some of the dialogue. There's that great thing where Sutter's trying to set up his best friend with some girl, and he's like, "What about her?" And he's like, "What? She's way too tall. I'd look like her son or something." It was great. It killed me.
Yeah, it's Michael H. Weber who did, wow. So he did The Spectacular. Now he also wrote 500 Days of Summer and The Fault in Our Stars, which is where I know Shailene Woodley from. And I can't with that film.
That is a tough watch.
That is, yeah.
Why doesn't she get more work? I don't get it. Is it because she was in those Divergent, Insurgent, Detergent, movies that didn't do well? Because I reckon she is. This is one of the most honest, heartbreakingly raw performances from an actress I've ever seen. She is. She's just like the wallflower girl at school. You know, the one doesn't conform to the pretty standards. You know, she's alternative and likes manga, but she's really sweet. Like there was half a dozen of those girls in my year 12 class, you know what I mean? And they were always the nicest people to talk to. It's such an accurate representation of that demographic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know she's not like that because she's a Hollywood actress. Like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like, I don't know, it probably, like, I don't know, the reason with that, like, she isn't as big of an actress as she should be. It's probably because of Divergent and also, like, I can't help but fault The Amazing Spider-Man 2 for this, because, like, this is 2013. The next year would have been The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where she would have played Mary Jane. What
a missed opportunity, huh?
Right? And like she doesn't get the credit that she deserves, especially for this performance. Like this is early on in her career, and like to have like you said, like that rawness, but also like that heart, like that hopefulness for the future when you have this, like, you know, somebody's graduating high school and like planning out the future of what you think or want it to be like. Like it's like she is, to be perfectly honest, with this and The Fault in Our Stars, she is a perfect dream girl. Like, or like the way that she's portrayed in a way that you're like, you just fall in love with her every time you see her perform.
As soon as she comes in and she finds Sutter on the lawn, and then he goes and helps her on her paper route, you just and their chemistry is so great. Like the two actors, and I remember I was reading the IMDb that they met, and it was almost like the dynamic in the film. Like he was Miles Teller was late and he was really manic and she was really quiet, and he was like, oh fuck, have I miscast this? And then he saw them talking in the car park, and apparently they just sat around and talked for like 3 hours. And at one point they were going to make all these script changes, and Shailene Woodley was going to leave, and Miles Teller was like, nah, stay and we'll make sure they don't do that. And then, you know, they kind of locked arms against editorial sort of thing and stopped it from happening. So yeah, I mean, this film lives and dies on their chemistry, and it really does work.
With Sutter and like his alcoholism, it's also a really incredible and a really like a real look at like what influence does to somebody. Like it is like we start with Sutter being the way that he is, right? Like
here's a fucking life of the party, the addict's confidence, you know? Yeah,
and like the transition from that to like when he takes her to prom, and like he gets her a flask as a prom gift, and like she doesn't have a problem with it, and like
she doesn't know she's enabling him.
Yeah. That is also very true, and like I don't think she realizes that until it's like I don't think she realizes that ever. But also, like, what's heartbreaking is that she doesn't realize how much he's influenced her in that way. Because the first time they like go out and like he has a drink, she says no. I remember being around people like that.
It's well, I mean, I absolutely was that. I'm sure that I influenced people around me to drink more than they should. Because they do, you look fun, you know, like you can't see the reason it's happening. There's also a hereditary nature to it, which, you know, proved point by fucking Hal Jordan himself. Kyle Chandler pops in and with an incredibly shitty dad performance, like just amazing. But the moment for me is when they go, you know, because Sutter's broken up with Brie Larson's character, or she broke up with him. And they go to the river party, and he invites Amy to like kind of her jealous in a way, but then they end up going for that walk, you know, and there's this beautiful moment, and it's really, it's a oneer. He even like gets his head caught in some bushes, and it's all like, you can tell that they're kind of ad-libbing and just making it happen, and then they kiss and all that stuff, and then smash cut to him waking up and he's absolutely wasted and hungover, and you know what I mean? Like the falsity of that. And it's not until the very end when he doesn't turn up to take the bus with her and he just drives past and she's like, ah, shit, like he had a problem this whole time. Do you know what I mean?
I remember listening to like the first Noah Khan album, and like, you know, like Stick Season has that line of like the inheritance, and like you clocked it because you related it to your struggles, but he's also talking about alcoholism in that, like very definitely so. And I watched the documentary about like his, like what happened after, like he the first album blew up, and then he went back home, and you know there were like sort of sorrow feelings because it was a lot of family dirty laundry that was in that album.
Yeah,
and it was
absolutely. But I mean, you can't begrudge an artist using their art to.
Yeah, and in one of the songs is about somebody in his life getting sober and coming back and just trying to deal with that, you know, like the relationship that was before and what they wanted to be now. And like he's talking about like it made you a stranger and filled you with anger, and it just
Orange Juice.
Yes,
song, Orange
Juice.
Yeah,
my best friend from like when I was 15, I have an estranged relationship with because of this. It's really hard because you like, it's by the time you understand the influence and by the time you understand the severity of it, it's most of the time it's heartbreakingly too late. Like you have to, yeah, and like I don't want to say anything that's like in the negative of that, but like I don't like forcing people to do something that they don't want to. This is kind of who I am, but like, yeah, it's sad and it's heartbreaking, and to see it portrayed so incredibly well by Miles Teller was, I'm gonna use the word real a lot because it is like it's very real. Like this film lives in this genre of coming of age films where like most of them are hopeful and feel like a dream, and some of it does, and then some of it is very, very harsh reality.
The reality of teen alcoholism, like I made a joke of it in the roundup, but it's a real thing because that's when no one's looking. It's just like this is the behavior that you are going to have because you're young and have access to alcohol. It's even more unusual in the States because you can't do that until you're 21. So he's doing it all illegally, whereas in my country you can drink when you're from you're 18, and it sets a precedent and it sets a standard as well. And alcohol is really accepted. And binge drinking is really accepted in a lot of cultures as well. So let's go out and get fucked up. Like it's that, you know, and that becomes your weekend, you know. Whereas if you were to dig deep enough into most people, they wouldn't even know why they're doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's just a behavioral thing, or it's not even an addiction. It's just a mode of behavior that you get locked into, especially when you work a 9 to 5 or you work like shift work, or if you work in a certain industry or whatever. There's drinking, there's culture around drinking, and you don't, luckily here in particular, I don't know what it's like elsewhere, but I did notice it in Canada, honestly, and New York too, the options for non-alcoholic beer and stuff like that are far more than there ever has been before. And there is, like, young people here a lot of them are sober, and they go out and they have a couple of non-alcoholic beers and they go and play D&D. Like, it's kind of, I'm serious. Like, nerd shit is cool shit now, and all that stuff. Like, all these kids who grew up during the MCU, just as an example, but just that kind of stuff is, the culture shift is incredible, and all the boomer parents are gone away, and all the parents my age are the ones who have kids in their early 20s who are being like, nah, I don't want to drink. I'm going to go and get a frozen yogurt, and we're going to go and sit by the river and, talk about shit all night. And then I'm going to come home and watch manga on my phone. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's great. I think it's really good. I do think there's other addictions that are creeping in, like screen addiction and stuff, and also there's a falsity to the way that they represent themselves that didn't happen when I was younger. But shit, I'll take that over poisoning yourself sometimes because, you know, maybe it's easy to get control of. But I think it's the now part of it that really interests me as well in the title, the now of it, because that's the actors. He even says this, and he said it just after I made the note. Sutter said it. The addict's way of dealing with it is like, I'll live in the moment. You know, it's the now, it's whatever. But that's how they avoid the consequences of what's happening. Avoidance is what addiction is. It is ignoring the problem because the alternative feels better. Like, you don't want to fucking have a conversation that you might have to investigate or change. Addicts don't want to change anything because, yeah, that requires work, and that requires introspection, which is, you know, you might look in there and not see something you like. And if that, what the fuck are you going to do when that happens? Like, yeah, it's a really complex way to live your life at like that young as well. You know, the possibility of youth. It's where she says it. They're sitting around the dinner table with the huntress,
Right.
Mary Elizabeth Marsden's, or whatever her name is, Mary Elizabeth
Winstead.
Thank you. I know they said Master Antonio. Then I'm like, she's from the Abyss. They're sitting around and you know, they ask Amy some questions, and she reveals that her dad passed away. You know, he had some addiction issues and all that kind of stuff. And then she's like, I'm going to have a husband and we're going to do this and it's going to be that and blah, blah, blah. And the you know, husband sort of smugly says, oh, it sounds like a dream. And she's like, I think it's good to have dreams, don't you? And Sutter's like, to dreams, and they cheers, you know, but that's a really real, like, youthful thing to think. And you also see that shift happen in Sutter, where Brie Larson's character's boyfriend comes in to meet him at his men's clothing store where Bob Odenkirk is his boss, and he's drinking behind the counter. I never drank at work. I was never that guy. I used to smoke weed at work. When I worked at a video store, I used to smoke weed. Like, yeah, man, fucking X2's awesome, man. You should get it again. What do you mean you've already got 2 copies? Oh, sorry. You know, like, but that I did that. And it wasn't cool. I shouldn't have done that. But, I didn't drink, which was the point. The where he goes in and he's like, fuck you, what are you doing? He's like, no, we're just hanging out with friends and you're awesome. And she can have fun with you. And he kind of bigs him up a little bit. And he's not doing it ironically. He kind of means it. Like, he is really good-hearted. It's like Jennifer Jason Leigh says at the end. She's like, you love everybody. You know, you're such a beautiful spirit. And he leaves and he says, you're not the joke everyone says you is. And that's like a real shift for him, I think. It's where, and he starts out with Amy. It starts out being like flattery and flirting and kind of like, oh, you know, you the cute homely girl and you know, you don't look like the sort of cheerleader Brie Larson, but I can use you to make her jealous. But in the end, he ends up needing the fuck out of her in a really, really big way. And she ends up kind of saving him a little bit, you know? Like,
going back to the scene where you were talking about, like, Brie Larson's boyfriend coming up to Sutter in their men's clothing shop. Like, he's saying all that, but like, what he's also saying is that he's not those things. Like, it's self-deprecation for him to say that I'm not that, but you are. And then to turn, because he's hurting himself, basically, right? Even with the alcoholism, like, he doesn't know that, like, he doesn't realize that, but he is. And then to have it be turned around and to have a positive response from that is like, you're absolutely right in saying that, like, you see the change, because like, it's just like he never expected somebody to be that kind, like, like, especially somebody who is dating your ex.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it as well in the scene where he's drunk and they're driving home from where he's met the dad. We'll get to that, but and he nearly runs him off the road, and she's like, are you okay? And he's like, am I okay? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I just nearly killed you. Like, don't you? And she's like, I love you. And he's like, no, you don't. You don't love me. And he even says it to his friend. He's like, in a month, she'll be done with me. You know, he he has no self-worth whatsoever. And when you are close to an addict, they will invariably push you away, especially if you might be able to help them because they don't typically want help. Like I said before, that will require change, and addicts aren't good at that. And I think they are able to display that in a really, really honest way in between their relationship, in a way that I haven't seen done very accurately in films about alcoholism, of which there are a lot.
I know that like addicts have a hard time changing and don't want to, but like it's also a very human thing to be scared of change. You know, it's not an easy step for anybody. Influence on Amy, especially like gradually, you know, like we see Caitlin Dever in like the first scenes that you're saying that, you know, what are you doing with her, right? And she warns him to stay away, but like obviously he doesn't. And but yeah, like the gradual influence of like just like not only the alcoholism, but like the alcoholism is not the only influence that he has on her. Like it's also like she does open up to other people. Like she is open to him, and it's like, you know, there's good and bad with that, but it is like in hindsight you realize how worse this could have ended, and it's already worse.
Yeah, and it's already pretty bad. Yeah, the you know, he gives her confidence. Like he tells your mum to stop telling you, you know, motherfucker, like what to do. Yeah, I'm going to college, you know, that kind of thing. And she's like, oh well, you've got to do it too. And he bolsters her up a little bit, you know. Mm-hmm. The part that feels the most honest, not only just because of the improvisation and all that stuff, the sex scene. Mm. And it's clear that it's like Sutter's lost his virginity, but Amy hasn't. It's awkward and beautiful and one of the most legitimate sex scenes I've ever seen in a movie. It feels like you've witnessed something actually happen, and not in a voyeuristic, pornographic way, that this is just two young people kind of accidentally falling in love. Like the awkwardness of putting the condom on, and it's this sort of long sex scene where she's like, you know, vulnerable, and they're taking their clothes off, and she's like, oh, I don't want to show you, and he's like, you're awesome. Like it's just that kind of thing. And then it's yeah, there's just something really, it shook me the first time I saw it. I was like, wow, if I was to do a sex scene between people that was that intimate, because you see them in movies as it's all like people flicking there. It's The Room, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's like get fucked. That's not what it's like. It's messy, and sometimes you fall off the bed, and you know, sometimes it can be funny, and you know, or sometimes it can be really passionate and then it's intimate afterwards, or sometimes it could just be, you know, like this, really tender and like you connect with a person, and that's what it's like, and it does that on camera, and I can't think of another film that I've seen where it feels like that, you know. Yeah,
I have to,
and doing it all in one take as well is really intimate.
Yes, absolutely. I do have to agree with you. Like it is strangely innocent and intimate to a point where like there's no comparison to like anything. Like the only other thing that like I feel is very intimate is the sex scenes in Normal People.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I was thinking of too. Yeah. Like,
and it's like you can see like you said, like you can see the inexperience and the experience in the character without like any dialogue or any facade, and it's just it's like it's strangely perfect in that way.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely is. And just it's really beautifully shot. I mean, the whole film is beautifully shot. I noticed it in the scene up in the prom, after prom, where they're up, you know, where they're up talking in the football fields behind them and stuff. Like it's a really beautifully shot film. The part that really gets me, like after Holly gives Sutter the dad's details and he walks away and she sort of starts crying, which really sells the moment. You know, he calls him on the phone and he's like, yeah, I'll come to see you. And they have to drive 3 hours to get there. And Kyle Chandler is a spectacular piece of shit, like a completely irredeemable fuck. And where he comes and he forgets that the kid was coming and he's anxious to get to the bar. Like he's got the DT shakes and you can tell that he's like, oh, I'm going to go and meet some people and all that. No, you're not. You're going down to the bar with all the other barflies, and fuck do I remember that. You know, going to the bar. If you go to the bar 3 times a week and you see the same people there and you like all those barflies and like you're one of them too. But if you go to the bar 3 times a week, not always on the same day and the same people are there, they're the proper ones. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're the cats who are there every single night. And I don't know how they can afford it, honestly, but it's really, really hard to watch this scene. The aging drunk who has all the answers and it's always someone else's problem. Like I was nearly that guy. Like, you know what I mean? If I hadn't had people around me and a support system, like Cole Chandler gets into kind of a Barney with his girlfriend or whatever the fuck, and that happens, and then he ends up going back to the bar by himself. Like if I didn't have good people in my life, I could have totally ended up that dude. And it shakes me every time. And it's such a great performance, such an honest performance from Chandler. Like he's one of the best, man.
Like you said, he like all the answers and none of the emotion.
Yeah, exactly. And when he's tested, he's like, you know, why did you come back? And he's like, well, I run out of money. Like I would have stayed down there. Like, you know what I mean? Just that it's always combative. Pick up the tab real quick.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Dad, you know, like when really that's incredibly sad. And then he doesn't come back. Like, God, are we fucking just made to hurt each other? It was just, yeah, it really hit me this time. And the way that she supports him is so painful and self-destructive and self-isolating, and the thought that no one can help. Like alcoholics just want to burn, you know, they when it gets as bad as it gets, they just want to burn. And that includes burning the people around them. And this scene is, you know, after they realize that he's not coming back, and then they go back to the bar and he's just in there. They've gone back to his house and he doesn't come. They go back to the bar, he's just in there, and Sutter decides to drive home drunk. This scene where they get into an argument, you don't love me, and he nearly runs her off the road. She says, are you okay? And he's like, get the fuck out of my car. Like, that's just horrible. And then, holy shit, when she steps out of the car and gets like winged by that other vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't remember a movie before that I don't often get audible during movies, like even scary movies where it's jump scares and things like that. When she got hit by that car, I was like, oh, fuck. Like it really took me by surprise, and the brutality of it. And when he goes to see her and she's so happy to see him afterwards, like it's, you know, he's gone and his teacher's like, you know, don't you want to go on to university and all that kind of stuff? And he's like, I don't see what's so great about being an adult. Are you happy? Like that kind of fuck it all mentality. But she's so hurt, like physically. But when she comes in, she's like, oh, it's so good to see you. And even after that, like at graduation, she offers him a drink and he says no, but she doesn't think anything of it. You know, it was just, yeah, there's a few minutes in there that I found really difficult to rewatch this time.
Like, I agree with what you're saying, but it's also like, but that's the wrong word to use. And it's also, it's really, really heartbreaking because that is the moment, like, as soon as she gets hit, that is the moment that he sobers up entirely. Like, in that moment, she gets hit and it's not a car, it's a fucking truck. And you feel, until she's out of the car, you feel so safe because they're in the car. They're on the other side of the road, but they're in the car. And then as soon as she gets out, she gets hit by a truck. And like the next scene, the next scene that they have together, she's like, the first thing she says is, "Are you okay?" With a plastered hand. Like, it's just like the way that she cares and loves him genuinely is so hurtful, because like it's not hurtful, sorry, heartbreaking. Because like at that point you the audience understand that it, like this is very toxic. Like, she almost died because of him, and
yet he's still not willing. He still doesn't want to change.
Yeah, like it's like there's no, like, I'm talking about just the character, but there's no like stepping up and taking responsibility of that. And it's like, I understand, because like it is genuinely come after the realization that he's become his dad entirely. but like he's become his dad in his teenage years before he even has a life.
Yeah, absolutely. And he, I think the realization of that is where he's like, you know, you need to get away from me kind of thing. And she says to him, you're all that matters to me. And then, you know, graduation kind of happens and he realizes that his ex-girlfriend's going to go off and have a life somewhere. And he's like, I'll come visit you. And she's like, that'd be weird. And he's like, yeah, that'd be weird. I'm just going to stay here, you know, aren't I? No, he doesn't say that, but in his head. And then he decides to, you know, Odenkirk is like, you can't keep turning up to work hammered. You know, I want to give you this promotion, but, you know, I want you to stay on and I'll get rid of the other guy because I can't afford both of you, but you can't be drinking. And he's like, I can't promise that I'm not going to do that. And then he just gives up and he lets Amy go, and you see him in the bar with the drunks. Like that's the moment where he's become his dad, where he's in the bar with the old drunks and they're like, you're a hero. You're a king, like fucking horse shit. You know, like the fucking romantic bullshit that alcoholics tell themselves, you know, that tomorrow they'll change or that it's okay because I'm okay to be like this because I'm broken. Like I deserve to be this miserable, that kind of, it's a fucking joke. And when you speak to the older guys like that, yeah, it's all these fucking Monday morning quarterbacks who think they have all the answers and all they've done is just sit in bars their whole lives. And, you know, what does he say? He's like, let's have a round of shots for us kids. Like just, yeah, like really, really ugly behavior. And then it leads into my favorite scene where he crashes the car again and his mum comes out and he's like, do you hate me because I look like him? You know, when you look at me, is that what you see? And she takes him inside and he's like, you know, you've got such a big heart. You love everybody. Do you remember when, you know, you helped that kid at school and, you know, do you remember this? You love all the people just because he wants to be loved. And he says, nobody loves me. And the only reason he says that is because his dad didn't. And yet his sister loves him, his mum loves him, all of his friends love him, the community loves him, the school loves him, his boss loves him, Amy loves him. And yet that one fracture in his love map has completely ruined every relationship that he has afterwards. Luckily for us in the story and Sutter, that is the moment of change for him where his mum says that's not true and he's able to believe it and try and make change, you know?
It's really heartbreaking to see him like spiral again after the car incident. Like it is just because at that point you're like, okay, this is the worst that this gets, right? Like this is like he has to at least have some sort of remorse after this, and he doesn't, and he spirals back down. And like I genuinely believe that Sarah believed that he saved Amy by not showing up to make it about yourself in that situation. Because it wasn't about him, and it wasn't about just him or just her. It was about them together, you know?
Yeah, and she had chosen him. Like that was, you can't, addicts do that all the time. They feel like they need to make the choice for you. Well, no, the person who loves you is going to make that choice for themselves, and you can't deny them that because you're afraid of whatever the cost might be to either to your addiction or to your recovery as well. But it's that final bit where he sits down to write the letter to the university, and he basically says, you know, I haven't had a lot of hardship in my life. The only real hardship I've had is me. And I was afraid of failure, of letting people down. And not only did I shut out the pain, I shut out everything, the good and the bad, until there was nothing. And in place of that nothing, he put alcohol and exhibitionism and being the life of the party and all that stuff. He thought that was his identity, and that became his identity when really it was an affectation of you know, who he actually was really supposed to be. And that's the final line for me, where he says, it's not too late for me. And it really isn't. It doesn't matter how old you are, how far down the line you are. Like I got really sick. Like I was really ill from drinking. Like my liver was close to shutting down. And I was in my 30s, you know, if you're in your early 20s and you're starting to feel the effects and you feel like you've got a problem, like as soon as it's like from Mad Men, as soon as you need to cut down on your drinking, you have a drinking problem. And that could go for anything. Like you could smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, you could take medications, like all that stuff, like anything. There could be food you have an addiction to as well. It could be pornography. It could be, screen time. It's all this stuff, all of the dopamine hits that you need to get from stuff is it's all can become troublesome if you don't have good systems in place and good safeguards. And one of them is that it's never too late to change. I don't care who you are or where you are on your journey. If you want to do better for the people around you, the people you love, your family and your friends and the people you share your life with, great, make that change. But more importantly, do it for you. Like your quality of life it's a real short ride, everybody. And you've got to be happy as much as you possibly can. And if you're not happy doing these things and having this behavior that is hurting you, you need to have the courage to make a change and realize that on the other side of that difficulty, like you don't get to skip difficult. You know, you've just got to choose it and you've got to choose your difficult. Yeah, it's really hard to give up drinking, but it's also hard to lose everything that, you know, you hold dear and probably your life in the end. So yeah, just, you know, anybody out there who's struggling with something, even just in a small way, if sometimes you feel like a weekend's over and you're like, fuck, I just went too hard again. I couldn't stop myself last night. It's okay. You're not the first person in the world to happen to, and you're certainly not going to be the last, but there's always opportunity and you always have a chance to turn it around. It's never too late. There's always time. You've always got time.
I want to add to that as well. Like, who are the two leads in with Selena Gomez in Only Murders in the Building? Steve Martin, Martin Short, right? Martin Short is a theater guy in the show, right? Like I saw this video of Martin Short yesterday saying how like he's gone through a lot of like family trauma recently, and like he came out and said that, you know, like I want to talk about these things because it's important for people to realize that they're not alone. Like it's horrible that this happened to you and that you're going through this, but you're not alone in this. Like somebody out there is also feeling this way. And like, you know, as soon as you realize that, you're like, maybe there's still hope. Like if I'm not the only one, then maybe there are people who are struggling similarly and have hope. So why can't I? And I feel like the now in Spectacular Now is like, you know, like you said, it can be about avoidance, but it can also be about just how your teenage years feel like it's all about now, and it's all about if you don't do anything now, it's like all of it is going to be for nothing. And like sometimes that mentality goes away and sometimes it doesn't. And like the now in the title can also be about, you know, meeting people on a random fucking day and they change your entire life. They will take you and lead you to horizons and show you sunsets and sunrise and beaches, and sometimes they will show you horrors, but they will give you life, and you will share life together. And that is the beauty of the now, because you don't, like, as soon as you start to plan the now, it goes away because you just have to be in it, you know. And like with substance or without, like experiencing the now is different for everybody, but it is everybody is experiencing it together, right? It's a communal experience, and it's also the thing that is also scary, because the moment that like those teenage years end and like, oh, it's not now, it is the future, right? And as soon as it becomes about the future, you start to miss the now that you were worried about before, right? And I feel like that's like, change is scary regardless of your struggles and like what you go through and what you don't go through. Like you said, it is never too late.
Beautifully said, my friend. It's an excellent picture, a spectacular now. We do hope you enjoyed watching it, because I assumed you watched it before, or you'd seen it before listening to this episode. I'm going to assume that from now on, that not just listening to this episode and not having seen the film. It also ends perfectly. He walks up the stairs at the university and it's just a shot of her reaction and it cuts to black. Fucking fantastic. I don't think it's favorite parts and favorite lines and stuff. We've kind of gone through all that. So perhaps we'll just say, recommendation, just to give me a short recommendation to the film for anybody who, hasn't seen it.
Okay, you start first. Give me an example.
If you just want to watch a really good movie with some great actors in it and a really good script, a nice indie drama, it's really good for you. But if you also like movies that have a message, it's well worth your time as well. And, if you feel like you might be able to get something out of it, I certainly did. And I've been sober for nearly 7 years. And still I was able to take away some stuff. Oh, no, I wasn't doing it for a round of applause. It's just...
I do it because I believe in you and I love you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. Like, if you want to watch a film that is reminiscent about teenage years, but also about growing up and how it can be difficult facing challenges that might seem earth shattering at that point, but are in hindsight are just moments in time. Yeah, if you just want to watch a really deep deconstruction about the mentality of being a teenager, watch it. Watch this film.
Yeah, it's poignant because that's the point in time where if you start accepting this behavior as normal, and if your parents as well, you need to be careful how you normalize alcohol in particular, and make sure that your kids understand that there needs to be limitations. I understand you're not going to be able to stop them doing that stuff, but yeah, it's you don't want to set a bad precedent. Definitely. Excellent picture. We love it. Do we have any questions for this one? Hopefully they're funny.
Yeah, we do. We have a question from Chaz, who we can always bank on being funny.
Oh man, he's just like we should just call it. We're just going to change the question segment to here's Chaz. That's literally what we're going to change it to. It's not. We don't have question segment anymore. It's hey everyone, here's Chaz. Okay, everybody, welcome back to Here's Chaz. What has Chaz got to say today? Spiritual third chair.
Marry, fuck, kill your recent watch list.
Right, can you just give me a second so I'll check my recent watch list? That's a great fucking question, Chaz. I want to hear yours, mate. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Marry Amy. Actually, she's a teenager. That's not cool.
Wait, no, okay, hold on. It's about like the movies, not the characters. So like your recent watches.
Oh, okay. All right. Marry this. Mm-hmm. Marry Spectacular Now. Fuck Punisher. One Last Kill. Kill Margot's Got Money Problems.
Oh, okay.
Because I love it, but it's fucking hard to watch. The last couple of episodes are fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. Really great though. It's a really good show.
All right.
I'm a huge fan of Ellie Fanning. I think she's excellent. And fucking Offerman in that is great. It's great. What about you?
Marry Sing Sing. Kill Mother Mary. It's it. Mm-hmm. That's a David Laurie film that came out. I watched it yesterday and I'm too dumb to understand what the fuck that was about. I said it in my review. I'm like, I fell asleep twice and they were still in the same dialogue scene. I don't understand how that happened.
Don't be too hard on yourself. Like it's some things aren't for you. It's okay.
Fuck the Spectacular Now.
Why not? Why not, everybody? What was the other thing that you wanted to ask?
Well, I'll just read out Chaz's response to this, and then I'll get into it.
Oh, sure, yeah, go for it.
So Chaz said, for me, Merry Pursuit of Jade, which is a Chinese drama. Fuck Chainsaw Man Reze Arc. I understand. That's a fuckable film. And then he said, kill Marty Supreme.
Yeah, that's fair too. That movie is fucking anxiety, the film. Awesome. What was your thing?
I have a question for you, and then I'll get into that. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So then, okay. So this year, Captain America Civil War turned 10 years old.
Holy shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So going back 10 years, when you watched the film, which side were you on?
Team Cap, yeah. 100%. I'll always be a rebel. Yeah. I get always against the establishment. Are you kidding me?
I was Team Cap, and everyone was like, Iron Man can just blast him. I'm like, that's not what it's about, but sure. And then I watched the film, I'm like, yeah, fuck you guys.
I think it's ideological more than anything. But it's just, Ross coming in being like, you guys need oversight. I'm like, you guys aren't fucking doing any better. And fuck mustaches.
Yeah, that's the thing I agree with, actually. I'm like, yes, they do need oversight. They don't need government oversight, though. Like, that's like I saw somebody say that Cap's entire argument is that I'm in love with Bucky. I'm like, that's not even it. Like, he loves somebody who he doesn't even know exists at that point, because he doesn't know that Bucky remembers it. But like he said it to Tony and to his face. So like, when Tony chose to destroy his suits, he chose to do that. If we sign this, we give up our right to choose.
What if we need to go somewhere and they won't let us? What if there's somewhere we don't think we should go and they make us go? Like, it's just the safest hands are still our own, 100%.
Like, it's, oh my God, it's still top 5 for me. Like, it hits every single time, man. Like, it's
a really well structured film as well. Like, it just, the beats of it, and at the end of it, where it's just the reveal of, that it was Bucky who killed Tony's parents. It's like, it's not his fault. He's like, I don't care. He killed my mum. All of a sudden, all of that poise and that justification that Tony's been grandstanding about through the entire thing, that, yeah, we do need oversight because I feel bad that some woman was mean to me about her son dying, goes completely out the window. And he's like, nah, this guy killed my mum and I'm going to fucking murk him right in front of you.
And it's such a like a full circle moment, because it starts with T'Challa losing his father and gives him this like vengefulness to go on Tony's side. And then like even he sees the cracks in the Sokovia Accords and is like, no, vengeance has consumed them. I'm done letting it consume me. Like, it's just about that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It needs a rewatch.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. So before we end this, I just want to say, by the time you're listening to this, I know I don't talk about this at all, and like I've never been a huge fan of it, but it is important to talk about. By the time you're listening to this, the last ever episode of Late Night with Stephen Colbert has been aired, and he is out. Oh, right. He's out of a job, and it is heartbreaking and frankly frustrating to see that entire situation and how that happened. Freedom of speech is one of the most important things for us. Like, it is our right to make our own opinion should be our own. With Stephen Colbert going off air now permanently, it is the end of the legacy with like even David Letterman. Like, it's a like late night TV shows are very Western and very US centric, because like I don't have any sort of connection to them. I loved Conan, but it was just like his comic timing and everything. But it is the beginning of the end of this era, and I am scared to see what happens now.
What used to be journalism became that anyway, and became like the late night talk show host became the sounding board for the disenfranchised majority. Mm-hmm. Particularly working class people, and that was where they got their Jones out. And Saturday Night Live did it too, and where they made fun of this stuff. But in a time when that particular country is being ran tyrannically, yeah, you're gonna start losing those voices and those platforms. So yeah, just protect yourself, everybody, and stay true to who you are. As Colbert will, he'll find another platform. He'll find another way to do that. They can't stop him from starting a podcast. They can't stop him from speaking on other people's shows.
Your voice is your own, and that's why it's important.
100%. And what a perfect way to end a podcast. Thank you so much, everybody. We really do appreciate you. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, please get in touch with me if you'd like to talk more about, your own struggles, or if you're struggling with other people who are in your life who maybe have some problems and you don't know how to help them, I'd be happy to talk to you. And we'll be back next week. We're going to be talking about Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I watched the other night and I fucking loved it. You can put the Flash in that movie anytime you want. That's some good Ezra Miller right then. I know
the only good Ezra Miller. Some
struggles now, but with alcohol no less, and some other things probably. But hopefully they're getting some help. But yeah, excellent picture. We're talking about it next week. Very much looking forward to it. Until then, you're beautiful. You're wonderful. Don't ever change. And Addie,
I love you.
You're the spectacular now.
Oh fuck! You beat me, man. I was gonna let you finish and then say it, but you are spectacular now, then, and forever.
How about that? That's probably the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Fuck hate.
Love veins.